Welcome to Philosophy with Shing, where we uncover the beauty behind philosophy. In today's episode, we'll be examining the quote, "There are no facts, only interpretations." Critically assess the implications of this view on the nature of knowledge. So, when looking at this quote, which is only this part, "there are no facts, only interpretations," there are actually two main keywords that we can see: facts and interpretations. What is the definition of facts? And what is the definition of interpretation? So that would be something that you need to work out in answering this question. Next, critically assess the implications of this view on the nature of knowledge. This question is tagged to our quote. So we need to relate the quote to the question, and in doing so, we need to first break down this question tag. So what is the question tag? The first keyword is the implications of the view. So what does implication imply? Meaning, what are the consequences of having the view that there are no facts and only interpretation? So we're not asking whether or not this quote is true. We're not asking that. Instead, we're asking, so given that this is true, given that this quote is true, what are the implications, what are the consequences of this view? So what are the consequences to thinking that this quote is true? Hence, the quote is already assumed to be true. So we need to assess the implications of the view on what? The implications, the consequences on the nature of knowledge. So we need to bring in what is the nature of knowledge, and it has some epistemological links. So you need to ask yourself, what is knowledge nature? What is the nature? What is its nature? And how does this nature of knowledge link to the consequences? In commenting about the nature of knowledge, some have commented that there are no facts and only interpretations, which is what we have in the question stem. There are profound implications to this view. So you see, I need to straight away bring in the profound implications so that I'm immediately answering the question, as the absolute claim that all knowledge is interpretation is implied in the quote. So what are the implications? When breaking down this quote properly, we see that since there are no facts, only interpretations, this means that all knowledge is interpretation. Since there are no facts that are based on knowledge, there are only facts based on interpretation. So that is a key assumption that the quote makes. And there's also a great implication on the nature of knowledge if this assumption is true. So, well, all knowledge is interpretation is implied in the quote, and by extension, this view asserts that there is, number one, no certainty in knowledge, because interpretation, you have to link this to certainty. Is there certainty in interpretation? And number two, there's a high level of subjectivity in the nature of knowledge constructed. So what are the consequences of having low certainty and high subjectivity? This will have to be addressed in your essay. So in this essay, facts are defined as accurate statements that can be corresponded to the external mind-independent reality using the correspondence theory of truth, as in science, and accurate statements that cohere within a web of beliefs, as in mathematics. So in my essay, now I'm defining facts as those that are found in science and those that are found in math. So there's no in between. It must be either through correspondence or through coherence that we determine these facts to be true. And what about the definition of interpretation? Interpretation is defined as an internalist endeavor where one processes information to attain one's conclusion without coherence with others or correspondence to the external world. So an interpretation is extremely internalist. So there's no need for correspondence and no need for coherence. Because essentially, you are interpreting within your own mind, and there's no need to cohere with others. There's no need to correspond to a mind-independent external reality. What are the implications if knowledge is only internalist? Are there any implications to knowledge being value-laden, to knowledge being subjective? And what is the implication of interpretation, in that all knowledge interpretation means that all knowledge is made up of prescriptive statements. All these are questions that you can ask yourself when you're answering this question. I disagree with this absolute stance that there are no facts, only interpretations. Firstly, why? So we have our stance ready. Disagree. So first, we disagree with the quote, by the way. First, there are facts in some areas of knowledge. So we directly contradict the quote by saying that there are actually facts in some areas of knowledge, making them more certain and objective. So you are refuting the idea of certainty and of low certainty and subjectivity. Argument 2. In other areas of knowledge where interpretations are more commonplace than facts due to the nature of that body of knowledge, these interpretations are still founded on the basis of facts, and it is erroneous to claim that there are no facts. So, secondly, is interpretations are grounded by facts. Alright, so although interpretations are grounded on facts, this might compromise the certainty and objectivity of the knowledge produced, but the nature of the area of knowledge is such that knowledge produced does not strive for objectivity and certainty. So while these interpretations are grounded by facts, these interpretations could be more uncertain and subjective. But what I'm saying is that it's okay because the nature of those areas of knowledge are such that they have a propensity to be more subjective and uncertain in the first place. So it's okay that these interpretations are grounded by facts. Okay, so moving on. The third argument is that interpretations in some areas of knowledge are more useful than facts, pointing to how while certainty and objectivity may be prized as epistemic virtues, the nature of knowledge in some areas of knowledge emphasize subjectivity more than objectivity. So argument 3 is subjectivity is valued. So that's how you might want to approach such a question in future, and I'm going to zoom it out here so that you can see exactly what I've been talking about, and I hope you enjoyed our video today. So stay tuned for our next video. Thank you and goodbye.